You know that feeling when you wake up and the first thing that comes to your mind is everything that went wrong? When you open your eyes and instead of hope, what you feel is that heavy weight on your chest. That tiredness that doesn't go away even when you sleep? I know you know what I'm talking about. Because right now, as this year is ending, many of us are not celebrating. Many of us are just trying to survive one more day. You look at the calendar and see a new year coming, and instead of excitement, what you feel is fear. Fear that things won't change. Fear that you won't have the strength to face what's coming. Fear that you're too tired, too broken, too old to start over again. And that's exactly why I'm here talking to you today. Because God knows. He knows about that weight you're carrying. He knows about those nights when you can't sleep because your mind won't stop. He knows about that pain in your heart that nobody sees. Maybe you lost someone you loved this year. Maybe you lost your health, your job, your peace. Maybe you feel like you gave everything you had and got nothing back. Maybe you're looking at your life right now and thinking, I don't have anything left to give. I don't have the strength to keep going. And I want you to hear this with all your heart. That's exactly when God shows up. Not when you're strong. Not when you have it all figured out. But when you're empty. When you're at the end of yourself. That's when His strength becomes yours. The Bible tells us something beautiful and true. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Not those who are already strong. Not those who never get tired. But those who wait. Those who are exhausted but still turn their face toward heaven and say, God, I can't do this alone. That's you. Right now. Reading these words. Feeling that tiredness in your bones. That's the moment God has been waiting for. Because He doesn't need you to be strong on your own. He needs you to let Him be strong for you. You see, we spend so much of our lives trying to carry everything by ourselves. Trying to fix everything. Trying to be strong for everyone else. We smile when we want to cry. We say we're fine when we're falling apart. We keep moving when our soul is begging us to stop. And we do this because we think that's what we're supposed to do. We think that faith means never being weak. But that's not faith. That's pride. Real faith is saying, God, I'm tired. I'm scared. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. But I trust you. I trust that you see me. I trust that you haven't forgotten me. And here's what happens when you do that. When you finally stop pretending. When you finally let yourself be honest with God about how broken you feel. That's when something changes. Not outside. Inside. Because God doesn't always change your situation right away. But He changes you. He gives you a strength that doesn't make sense. A peace that your circumstances don't deserve. A hope that comes from somewhere deeper than your own thoughts. This new year that's coming? It's not asking you to be perfect. It's not asking you to have all the answers. It's not asking you to pretend anymore. This new year is an invitation. An invitation to let God carry what you can't carry. To let Him fight the battles you're too tired to fight. To let Him heal the wounds you've been hiding. And I know it's hard to believe that things can be different. I know you've been disappointed before. I know you've prayed and waited and nothing seemed to change. But God's timing is not our timing. And His silence is not His absence. If this message is already touching something inside your heart, if you're feeling like these words were meant for you today, please subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Not for me, but so that more people who are tired, who are hurting, who need to hear that God hasn't given up on them, can find these words too. Because you're not alone in this. There are so many people feeling exactly what you're feeling right now. I want you to close your eyes for a moment, if you can. And I want you to think about everything you've been through. Every tear you've cried. Every prayer you've whispered in the dark. Every morning you forced yourself to get up even though you wanted to stay in bed. God saw all of it. Every single moment. And He's been collecting your tears. He's been hearing your prayers. He's been walking beside you even when you couldn't feel Him. And now, as this year ends and a new one begins, He's whispering to your tired soul, I'm going to give you the strength you need. Not all at once, but day by day, step by step, breath by breath. You don't have to figure out the whole year right now. You don't have to know how everything is going to work out. You just have to make it through today. And then tomorrow, you wake up and you do it again. And God will meet you there. Every single morning. With new mercy. With new strength. With new hope. Because that's who He is. He's the God who never runs out of grace. He's the God who never gets tired of you. He's the God who sees you right now, in all your weakness, in all your doubt, in all your pain, and says, I still choose you. I still love you. And I'm not done with your story yet. So take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And know this, the strength you need for this new year? It's already on its way. Not because you earned it. Not because you deserve it. But because you're loved. And God takes care of the ones He loves. Now I want to talk to you about something that might surprise you. Something that goes against everything the world tells us. The world says, be strong, don't cry, don't show weakness, keep pushing, never give up. And all of that sounds good, doesn't it? But here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is surrender. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop fighting and let God take over. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but I can't just give up. I have responsibilities. I have people depending on me. I have bills to pay and problems to solve. And you're right. I'm not telling you to give up on life. I'm telling you to give up on trying to control everything. There's a difference. A big difference. Giving up means losing hope. Surrendering means trusting that someone bigger than you is in control, even when you can't see it. Think about it. How many times have you worried yourself sick about something, only to find out later that it worked out in a way you never could have planned? How many times have you been absolutely sure that something was going to destroy you, only to look back years later and see that it was actually leading you somewhere better? That's God working. That's His strength carrying you when your own strength runs out. But we miss it so many times because we're too busy trying to fix everything ourselves. You know what the hardest prayer is? It's not asking God for what you want. That's easy. The hardest prayer is saying, God, not my way, but your way. Because that means letting go. That means admitting that maybe, just maybe, you don't know what's best. That maybe God sees something you can't see. That maybe His plan is different from yours, and that's okay. That's more than okay. That's actually the safest place you could ever be. I've lived long enough to know this. Every single time I tried to force things to happen my way, I made a mess. Every single time I held on too tight to something I thought I needed, I ended up more broken than before. But every time I let go, every time I said, God, I trust you even though I'm scared, that's when miracles happened. Not always the miracles I expected, but always the miracles I needed. And this is what I want you to understand as you step into this new year. God is not asking you to be superhuman. He's not asking you to have it all together. He's not asking you to pretend like everything is fine when it's not. What He's asking for is your trust. Your broken, messy, imperfect trust. He's asking you to bring Him your tired heart and say, I can't do this anymore on my own. I need you. There's something so beautiful that happens when you finally do that. When you finally stop trying to be strong enough, smart enough, good enough. When you finally admit that you're weak and you need help. That's when God's strength shows up. Not your strength. His. And His strength never runs out. His strength doesn't depend on how you're feeling. His strength doesn't fade when you get older or when life gets harder. His strength is always there, always enough, always ready to hold you up when you can't stand anymore. The Bible talks about this. It says that God's power is made perfect in our weakness. Perfect. Not in our strength. In our weakness. That means that the moments when you feel the weakest, those are actually the moments when God can show His strength the most. Because when you have nothing left, when you're running on empty, when you're barely holding on, that's when everyone can see that it's not you anymore. It's Him. It's His grace. It's His power. It's His love keeping you going. So as this new year begins, I want you to make a decision. Not a New Year's resolution that you'll forget about in 2 weeks. A real decision. A heart decision. Decide that you're going to stop trying to do everything in your own strength. Decide that you're going to let God be God. Decide that every morning when you wake up, before you do anything else, you're going to say, God, I need your strength today. I can't do this without you. Let me. Guide me. Carry me, if you have to. And watch what happens. Watch how different your days start to feel. Not because your problems disappear, but because you're not carrying them alone anymore. Watch how you start to have peace in situations that used to make you panic. Watch how you start to have hope when everything around you says there's no reason to hope. That's what happens when you trade your weakness for God's strength. That's what happens when you stop pretending and start trusting. If these words are speaking to your heart right now, if you're feeling like God is telling you something through this message, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because there are so many people out there who are trying to be strong all by themselves, and they're breaking. They need to know that it's okay to be weak. They need to know that God's strength is enough. You don't have to enter this new year carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know how everything is going to turn out. All you have to do is take God's hand and let Him lead you. One day at a time. One step at a time. One breath at a time. And I promise you, you're going to look back one day and realize that you made it through things you never thought you could survive. Not because you were so strong, but because God was. Let me tell you something that I need you to really hear. Really take in. This new year is not just another year. It's not just another calendar on the wall. It's a gift. A gift from God who looked at you, in all your tiredness, in all your pain, in all your doubt, and said, I'm giving you another chance. Another beginning. Another opportunity to see what I can do in your life. Do you understand what that means? It means God hasn't given up on you. Even when you've given up on yourself. Even when you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back at you anymore. Even when you feel like you've failed too many times, made too many mistakes, wasted too many years. God looks at you and sees someone worth fighting for. Someone worth blessing. Someone worth filling with new strength. And I know it's hard to believe that. I know you've been hurt. I know you've been disappointed. I know you've prayed prayers that seem to bounce off the ceiling and fall back down unanswered. But here's what I've learned after all these years. God's delays are not God's denials. Just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Just because you're still waiting doesn't mean He's not working. Sometimes God is preparing you for what He's already prepared for you. Sometimes the wait is part of the blessing because it's changing you into who you need to be to receive what's coming. This new year, God is going to give you strength you didn't know existed. Strength to face things you've been running from. Strength to let go of things you've been holding onto too tight. Strength to forgive people who hurt you. Strength to forgive yourself for the things you can't change. Strength to love again when you thought your heart was too broken. Strength to dream again when you thought it was too late. Strength to get up one more time even though you've fallen so many times before. But here's the key. Here's what you need to remember. This strength doesn't come all at once. It doesn't show up on January 1st with a big announcement saying, "Here I am." No. It comes quietly. It comes in small moments. It comes when you wake up and somehow you find the courage to face the day. It comes when you're in the middle of a difficult situation and somehow you don't fall apart like you thought you would. It comes when you look at your life and realize that you're still standing, still breathing, still hoping, even though you've been through hell. That's God's strength. It doesn't feel like lightning striking. It feels like grace. Steady, quiet, faithful grace that holds you together when everything in your life is trying to tear you apart. And the beautiful thing about God's strength is that it's always enough. Not too much. Not too little. Always exactly what you need for exactly where you are. So I want you to make a promise to yourself right now. Promise that you're going to stop measuring yourself by other people's strength. Stop looking at others and thinking, why can't I be like them? Why can't I have what they have? Why can't my life be that easy? Because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what battles they're fighting behind closed doors. And more importantly, God didn't call you to live someone else's life. He called you to live yours. With all its struggles. With all its pain. With all its unique challenges that are shaping you into who you're meant to be. Your journey is yours. And the strength God gives you is designed specifically for your path. Not anyone else's. Yours. So stop comparing. Stop feeling like you're not enough because you're not where someone else is. You're exactly where you need to be. And God is giving you exactly the strength you need to get through it. As we close this message, I want to pray something over your life. I want to speak these words into your heart, and I want you to receive them. Receive them like water when you're thirsty. Receive them like rest when you're exhausted. Receive them like hope when you're in despair. God is with you. Right now. In this moment. As you listen to these words. He's not far away. He's not too busy. He's not disappointed in you. He's right there with you, and he's saying, I see you. I know you're tired. I know you're scared about what's coming. But I'm going to give you the strength you need. Day by day. Moment by moment. I'm going to walk with you through this new year, and I'm going to show you that you're stronger than you think because I am stronger than anything you'll face. Before you go, if this message touched your heart, if you felt God speaking to you through these words, please subscribe and leave a like on this video. Not just for the channel, but because your click might be what brings this message to someone else who desperately needs to hear it today. Someone who's about to give up. Someone who thinks they can't make it one more day. Your simple action might save someone's hope. And that matters. That matters so much. So step into this new year with your head up. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're not alone. Step into it knowing that the same God who brought you through last year, through all its pain and all its struggles, is the same God who's going to bring you through this one. Step into it with faith. Not perfect faith. Just honest faith. Faith that says, God, I don't know how, but I trust you. I don't know when, but I trust you. I don't know why, but I trust you. And watch him work. Watch him give you strength when you have none left. Watch him make a way when there is no way. Watch him turn your pain into purpose, your tears into testimony, your mess into a message that will help someone else one day. This is your year. Not because everything will be easy, but because God is going to be with you through everything. And that's all you need. That's all you've ever needed. His presence. His strength. His love that never fails, never gives up, and never lets go. Go now. Rest in that truth. And when tomorrow comes, when this new year begins, wake up and whisper, God, give me the strength I need for today. And he will. He absolutely will. Because that's who he is. And you are his beloved child. Now and forever.